All right, welcome to the live spiritual Saturday show with Silvia. I'm so excited because today's show is going to be good. It took me a moment to get on, but it's totally going to be worth it. It's great to see you all here already. And I just want to share what the topic is going to be today and go over just a couple of things before we start. I can hear myself a little bit on YouTube, so I'm going to turn myself off here. There we go. Turn this off. Turn this one off. And let's get this one. Okay. All right. Let me know if the echo goes. Okay. So it should be going. Let's see. All right. So, yeah, it's gone. Okay. Wait. I do have a bit of an echo going on, so I'm going to check it out. Hey, can you guys hear that echo too? Let's see. Mic. And I'm going to go into built-in mic. See if this works. Hey, can you guys hear that echo too? Okay, somehow I'm hearing myself. Mic. And I'm going to go into built-in mic. Okay. See if this works. Hey, can you guys hear that echo too? All right. Okay, somehow I'm hearing. Okay. So I think what it is that it might be I'm live on a browser. Thanks for your patience, you guys. I just hear myself, and I want to make sure I close it off. So I think what it is. Okay. Well, while I'm doing this and closing off different browsers, you guys can chit chat, and we're going to talk about what the show is about. Hey, I think the echo went. No, it didn't go. Did you guys know that we're going to have a show this afternoon as well? It's going to be with Louisa from Passion Harvest, and it's going to be talking about both her and I interview um, near-death experiencers, and we're going to talk about our experiences that we learned. I'm not making eye contact right now because I'm trying to shut all of the browser options because I have a feeling that I'm playing on YouTube. Are you like me where you have a million browsers open? Yeah, so that's in 4 hours with Louisa. And right now we're going to talk about actually one of my favorite things. I'm so excited to talk about today that I think I blew up my computer. That's what happened. Okay, so I closed all the browsers almost. So I don't think it's that. I think it's going to be all good, no echo. Are you sure? Why am I hearing it then? Okay, I'll do one last ditch attempt here to try to get this mic. I'm going to go to Yeti. And then I'm going to go to output. You know what? I'm going to just turn down my volume. Now, I've turned my volume off completely. I want you guys to do me one favor. Let me know A, that you can hear me, and B, that you don't hear an echo. And then we could start. I love it if you guys can type it in the chat. Thank you for mentioning about the earrings. And Cheryl, I wore them just for you. Okay, so all is good. Finally, we can get to the topic. So it is the top 10 misconceptions about God and the universe that's stopping you from living your best life. And my intuition and my intention is to end suffering, or at least to minimize your suffering, and to offer clarity, the clarity that has brought me joy where I feel like I'm living on heaven on earth, and also to empower you and your being in this lifetime and in every lifetime. So I definitely don't want to challenge anyone. I actually just want to share. And these are my deepest keys to heaven and the universe that I want to share with you. And they are based upon what I have learned from my dream in Sedona of Jesus. So it's kind of an unraveling and unfolding, a mystery that's unfolding right in front of me. If you're watching this on the replay, there's a good chance that I would have cut off the beginning part, but I want to hear from you. I want to know where you're from, what you thought about the program. And also, if you don't want to hear about the chat, you can fast forward directly to the 10 points. As a matter of fact, it's going to be more like 12 points because as I was writing them down, more points came. I do plan on answering questions, and I'm going to hold off on the questions and the chat a little bit. I've had some feedback from people who have told me that they want to get to the point and then get to the questions after. All right, so let's do this. So pump up my volume. Okay, how about this? Like, is my volume good? All right. So the first thing I want to tell you is an experience that I had. Hi, Karen. Hi, everyone. There's an experience that I had this morning. I don't know about you, but here it's summertime, and I had been talking all morning with my husband about the miracle of manifestation and how everything is generated from the kingdom within. And we were having this great chat, and it was kind of fun because we don't really get a chance to chat in the morning about these things. So I went my way and he went his way, and I went down the block to go for a walk with my friend. And we came upon a garage sale because it is summertime and the sun is shining and people were having. And I saw this beautiful set. And that morning in the conversation with my husband, I said, you know, I really wish that I hadn't dropped that china set, and I would like to get a new one. This might not seem like it's making sense here about spirituality, but it will in a minute. Suddenly, this entire china set was right in front of me at the most amazing price, and every single piece was in it. Everything I lost was right there. And then I looked at this pink dish and I thought, you know what would look really nice on this is beautiful pink cupcakes. Don't ask me why. I have the photo. I'll blend it into it. I just thought about a pink cupcake. So I actually left and I didn't pick anything up because I was on my walk. And as I went down the road, I want to say 5 blocks away, there was another garage sale with 3 pink cupcakes. Not blue, not yellow, but pink. And I started to think, this, my friends, is synchronicity. And this is starting out like a wonderful day. And this is part of what I want to share with you, that as we think and feel from our hearts, when you wish and desire from your heart, that you manifest into your reality the things that you most desire. And I know that there's a lot of conflict around this. I just want to make sure, Shelly, can you hear me okay? Love to see you guys all here. So this is about living your best life and manifesting. I want to just say a special shout out to Shay because she has been suffering with a respiratory issue that we can't talk about on YouTube. And I wanted to say, Shay, I'm so glad that you're here. I saw your photos. I'm glad that you're getting better, that you could show up, and thank you for showing up all the way from Pakistan. Okay, I have a message for a lot of you here today, so this is great that you're all here. So let's talk about the first of the top 10 things we want to talk about. So the first one, I mentioned that I'm also going to be at the Near Death Experience Summit tomorrow. Don't miss that. That summit's a great summit too. So the first one is the misconception that God, the source of creation, exists outside of ourselves. That's a misconception. And I just want to talk about that for a moment. So the misconception is that God exists outside of ourselves. So what does that mean? It means that the reason why God knows how many hairs we have on our head, the reason why God knows our heart desire, the reason why God knows us better than we know ourselves is because that's where God lives, right within you. So what does it mean to believe that God exists outside of you? It means that you feel alone, you feel abandoned, you don't feel understood, you don't feel heard, you don't think miracles are possible, you don't have the inherited empowerment that God gives you by living inside of you. So then you feel weaker, less empowered maybe, and that you don't feel as hopeful as you could be, and that you're not actualizing the creative source and power within you, and you don't feel enriched. And we want the opposite for you. We want, don't worry, Ingrid, we started just now. We don't want the opposite for you. We want, actually, We want you to understand that God lives right within you. So when you're seeking God, it's more like nurturing God within you and connecting within you. This is why a lot of people like to say you can meditate and meet God, and they like it if you're quiet. Hi, Lily Jane, too. Look, you can meet God anytime, anywhere, because the kingdom of heaven and the kingdom of God is within you. I want to make sure, and you're going to see something as we flow through. I'm not talking about religion, I'm talking about where God lives. So when you make friends and understand that, when you assimilate the understanding that God lives right within you and knows you better than you know yourself, you loneliness ceases to exist. Empowerment starts to happen, and a connection is strong. All right, I'm glad you guys like this. Okay. So now, the second thing is that the universe, this is a misconception, the universe delivers what you need. What did you say, Sylvia? That's a misconception? You mean the universe doesn't deliver what we need? Let's talk about this. The universe, as learned in my dream that Jesus explained to me, is a reflection of who you are. And again, I questioned Jesus in my dream and I said, are you sure? Like, that's big. He said, yes, all of it. Then I started to really think about this. What does it mean that the universe is reflecting who I am? That means that you, thank you, Holly K. Thanks for the generous super chat. And our lives are enriched by hearing these messages every week. Thank you so much. Okay, so what does it mean that the universe is reflecting back to us? It means that everything we see is a mirror of ourselves within. And I said, are we that big, Jesus? And he said, yes, that's how big that you are. So that means that we are the planets, the stars, our brothers, our sisters, everybody is connected. Do you mean that you and me are the same person? We are the same being experiencing from different angles and experiences. So we can, see, we don't really think about this in our everyday life on earth, that we could actually all be one experiencing from a different perspective. But how I was shown in a dream from my father is that it's like the sunshine. The sunshine is the center, and all of us connected, our interconnectedness, and then each one of us is a ray of light coming outside of the sunshine. I feel that that's a really good description of how connected we are. And then the universe is reflecting us. So why is that important? It's important because I just want to make sure that, yeah, I'm here and you guys can hear me. So why is it important to understand that the universe is a reflection and not the source of the things that we desire and need? Because when we say it's the universe that's going to give us something, we are giving our power away, and it's a speculative thing. It means that we will get whatever we think the universe thinks that we deserve. But that's not the way it works. As Einstein said, God doesn't play dice. What happens is your heart's desire, your true desire, your true vibration has a vibration, moves out into the universe, and is reflected back to you. This is very important because a lot of people will say, why are things not turning out the way I want to? Why am I suffering? Why is this person gone from my life? Why did this person die? How come this happened to me? And I want to make sure we go through all 10 points before I give an answer to that. So there is a reason why. However, it's based within our being. It's not outside. Remember, a lot of good things happen to you too. A lot of good things are generated from the kingdom within you and empowerment, such as love and beautiful relationships. Thank you, Chris B., for your generous offering here today. I really appreciate it. And it said, thank you, Sylvia. You are our family. I feel the exact same way. I feel a direct connection with each and every one of you. I'm so grateful for your presence because this knowledge is very personal to me and special. I really feel that it is. Okay, let's go to the next one and then we'll do a full wrap around. Okay. All right. So the next one is, we are all sinners by default. This is a misconception. We are all sinners by default, and therefore there is a low expectation for us. I don't know how many times I have heard that we were born sinners, on, and I'm not going to challenge any religion about this. I'm just going to let you know what I learned from my dream in Sedona of what Jesus showed me. You are born with the full glory and the full kingdom of God within you. The question is, when will you wake up to it, step up to it, step into it, and live it and actualize it? I want you to know that right at this moment, right now, you can have and be and do everything in the power of God. However, because we have this jaded belief system that we are no good, that we're flawed, so on and so forth, it really limits the amount of good things that we can do, be, and create in this world. And once we understand that we are whole and that we can forgive and move forward for anything that we have misunderstood or somebody has done to us or we have done to them, and this resonates really a lot with Jesus' words. And let me explain to you. He talked about forgiveness. He talked about all of those things for us. You see, forgiveness is a gift. It's not a gift to the other person, it's a gift to us so that we can release the limitations and the illusion and embrace right now the glory of God, meaning the glory of creation, empowerment, and love. I'm going to keep going with this, okay? So the next thing is, this is a misconception that God lets bad things happen to us and that we are powerless to change the world. Also not true. The only things that happen that are what we consider to be bad experiences, they have not been delivered to us from God. These are situations and circumstances that have unfolded in our reality due to a number of things. It could be a collective group consciousness of all of us. For a global event, for example, it could be an individual event and situation. It's come from somewhere, but let me explain. It's not come from empowerment. It's come from the opposite of empowerment. It's coming from fear and doubt and lack of faith and a pool of doubt. And I want to be happy about this because there's a lot to be happy about. I'm showing you these misconceptions so you can get empowered, so that you can live your dream life. I shared the talk about the plate and the cupcake today as just a small little thing that can happen when you start thinking in the way that, yeah. So again, I started this conversation by saying I'm not going to try to challenge anything that's written, any belief system that you have. This is me sharing what's working for me. And so the things that happen to us are definitely experiences that we are experiencing, but we're not being punished. And if we do feel punished, we need to dig deeper and let it go. And at the root of most of these horrible things is a lack of forgiveness, a lack of love, trying to push your will onto other people's will, or vice versa. Okay? So I'm going to leave it at that for now, and then we'll circle back to that. Okay, so then moving on to the next one, and that is we are separate from one another. So we have a misconception that you are you and I am me, and you live over there and I live over here, and you have your concerns and I have my concerns. But that's not really how it works, because if you're a reflection of me, I'm a reflection of you. If you don't like me, for example, or you don't like someone else, that is a rub. And the rub is there to show you there's something about that situation and that person that you haven't come to terms with within yourself. That's a real tough one. It's tough for me too. So there are certain people that, There are certain people, one second, I'm just going to get in here for a sec. Yeah. There are certain people that are going to be inflamed and triggered by things you do and say, regardless of what your intention is. And it's the same for other people that they do. And really what it is an inability to come to terms with that sort of activity, that action, those words. And we have decided to place a meaning on it that is either good or bad. So that's that. And there's really nothing beyond that except for that we are connected. We should have each other's well-being in mind. And the reason being, there's a few reasons here. Why should we start thinking that we're not separate and that we're together? Because together, just imagine the collective intelligence, the collective love, the collective possibility, the collective connection, and what we can do together versus all apart. That's very sort of pedantic and sort of that's just common sense to that if we united. But the reality is that there is no separation because I'm seeing you and you're seeing me, and anything good you see in me is the good in you. And really, it's a beautiful realization when we come to those terms. And then if we say, well, I'm not that person, I don't like that person. Remember that little phrase that Jesus said, don't judge. He didn't say don't judge because you would be a bad person if you judged. He wasn't judging you. He wasn't telling you not to judge and judging you. He was saying that don't beat yourself up because that other person is an aspect of yourself. And when you work in unity and you become peaceful and balanced, you understand that each and every one of you needs your attention and nurturing and love and honesty and balance and giving. It's challenging. I know that. I live on this earth and I have personal feelings and I'm a human being. However, the sooner we can come to the realization that we are each other's reflection and brothers and sisters is going to be a much better place. That's when you're going to have heaven on earth. And if we can relinquish and let go of the need to be separate, different in that regard. Of course, we are unique. But we don't have to not care about someone because they're someone else's child or someone else's mother or sister. We are a family. Literally, we are a family. If you go back in your DNA, we all come from one area. Okay, whether you believe in creationism or whether you believe in the science of the DNA, we're all coming from one source. So we're all together in this. It just so happens that we have multiplied to 7.7 billion people, and there's more opportunity for us to love one another, to network, and we're supposed to be a resource for each other. We're supposed to be inspiration for each other. We're supposed to ignite faith in each other. We're supposed to build together. We're supposed to create together. We're supposed to love together. Somewhere along the line, that message didn't get through. Okay, so, and I'm reading all your comments as we go along, and I'm going to respond to each and every one that I get my eyes on. Okay, so next, that this experience will last forever. Okay, so this is the next one. This is a misconception that this experience will last forever. And Cheryl, I just noticed that you posted, and this one's for you. When we realize that this particular experience, this moment in time, is a unique moment in time, like we are eternal, we are Alpha and Omega, we're always alive, but our experiences have a beginning and an end. This is what I was told. This is what I'm sharing with you. This is what I'm understanding and what's unfolding. To say that I'm going to live forever my soul will, but to say that this experience is going to last forever would be a bit naive. I can see for myself with my own human eyes that people are born and they die. If we love those people from the time they are born until the time they die, including yourself, when you love yourself from the moment you are born until the time that you pass, when you love your friends that are born and you pass, regardless of how they pass, we all know that's one thing we have in common, correct? It's when we don't love the people 100%, or it's when we impose our will and idea of how they should pass and how they should live and how they should be born and what orientation they should be born and what they do when they're born and what country they're born and on and on and on. That's where we get in trouble. Okay? So we need to honor and respect one another, because this experience together, this particular experience we have, is a very valuable experience. And you really, if you want to live your best life, you're going to really dig in. It's like a big feast in front of us this lifetime, this particular lifetime, whether you believe in reincarnation or not. I don't want to get in that debate. This lifetime, this experience has a beginning and an end. I think, can we all agree on that? Yes or no? You can type Y for yes and for no. So you have this lifetime and you have these beautiful people, and maybe some people leave early and you don't like the way that they left, whether it was an illness, whether it was self-inflicted, whether it was too early, whether it was too late, whatever you think. Those are all your opinions and your will trying to be imposed on that. So what happens when that happens? Heavy grieving, heavy grieving. But what if I told you what was told to me, that we're all Alpha and Omega, and that this experience surely does have a beginning and an end, but our lives do not. So I realize that that requires a lot of faith, and that's what I'm proposing here, that we actually believe and actually have faith and actually live by faith that we are eternal with God, with the kingdom within. Now, that poses another question. Where are we going? How can we be living forever? What's happening? We'll talk about that momentarily, okay? Thanks for all answering, you guys. I really appreciate your participation. I can see all your names and all of the letters that you posted in there. Okay, so, and the next one is that endings are bad. It's a misconception to think that ending of a relationship, ending of a life, ending of a circumstance, ending of anything are bad. Because by nature and by default, experiences have a beginning and an end. If we take a look out in the solar system, nothing has remained static. Yes, things move at a slower pace, like it takes 5 billion years. Our actual sun, and I don't want to panic anyone here if you haven't watched any documentaries on the universe, our sun at one point will, get really big and then sort of peter out to not very significant, which means that there are consequences to that. So when you look out into the universe, the reflection of our being, you can see that things have a beginning and an end. And we get so sad. We think all endings are bad. But if there never was an ending to one experience, we could never grow and get to the next experience. And this is why we need to come to terms with these experiences, because it's one of the sources of suffering of humanity that we really cannot let go. We have a very decisive idea of how we think endings should happen, when they should happen, and even experiences of other people, how they should be living, what they should be doing. This really creates a lot of friction, and it causes internal suffering either to the opposite person or your reflection, really. It becomes an inner conflict. I think we need to let it flow, let it go and let it flow, because there's no fighting what the nature of reality is, beginnings and endings. So we need to bless people for their choices of how they want to begin and end their life. And we need to pay more attention to what we are doing with our lives. Sometimes when we focus on other lives, how they ended, how they're beginning, how they're living them, we lose a sense of enriching our own life. And our own life, this experience goes by, and then we're like, well, what have we done with our own? What have you done to fully actualize and enrich the kingdom of heaven right on earth? Have you even conceived of the fact that it's possible to create your own heaven wherever you are geographically, wherever you are as a person emotionally? Do you have those wishes and desires to live your best life in that manner? Oftentimes what we do is we think that actual money, and I'm not judging this at all. There's been times in my life too where you think, well, if I had the money, I could do this and I could have, but that is like imagining that something outside is actually going to create what starts from within you. If you want heaven on earth, if you want abundance, if you want those things, you actually have to generate them yourself. People are like, no, Sylvia, don't say that. I just want to pray for them. I just want to hope and wish and hope and wish and hope and wish, and maybe it will happen for me. That's called speculation. And as Einstein said, God doesn't play dice. Whatever your vibration is what your reflection is. Hard to take. For some of us, we're like, yes. Other people are like, no, say it isn't so. But there's your work. There's your life purpose right there, is to actualize heaven on earth, how you see that for your experience. Okay. Thank you for collaborating here, you guys. I appreciate it. And thank you, Shelly G, for being the room monitor. I will be attending to your questions. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up so that other people, the algorithm will send it to other people. Next, God is only accessible if you belong to an organized group. Not true. God is accessible because God is within you. And also, God is not just accessible for people who are perfect. God is accessible for all of us, and God lives within us. Now, let's go there. Let's go there for a moment. Let's pretend that God was accessible only for good people. It would be a real challenge for us to evolve as a humanity, as a collective consciousness, as children of God. It would be very difficult for us if God didn't show his face to people who have made some choices that they're not so proud of in this experience, maybe. It just isn't true. It's not true. And if it was true, then you wouldn't have so many people in hard circumstances turning to God and transforming their lives. That's actually one place where you can really see God at work, is within people who need the most transformation. You can really see how God at work and having faith of the kingdom within, how it really works out. And this has nothing to do with an organized ritual. Sometimes, I think we do create these situations. It's kind of like meditation. It's a little bit of a pet peeve of mine that people think that the only way that you're going to find inner peace is through meditation. No, I do agree that you need to get rid of clutter, such as judgment, imposing your will on others, deciding what's good for other people, deciding when it's good for people to check out or check into this life, how they do. That's clutter. I would even go as far as to say it's garbage that fills your mind up and is kind of getting in the way of clarity and understanding. And you want to know why people do that? It's because they're scared of living their full life, fully responsible, fully engaged, fully shining, and fully forward. That's tough. It's tough for people to actually fully engage in their life and say, hey, I'm doing it. I'm jumping in. I'm diving into this experience and I'm going to create heaven on earth for myself. What does it mean for you? I actually want to ask you a question. What does heaven on earth mean to you? If you could write your reply there, even 3 words, any reply is a good reply. You have to be a subscriber in order to chat in my room, and I made it that way so that you feel safe. So please feel safe to write down what you feel, because nobody is going to respond negatively, because everybody in my room is accountable for the love and for loving each other. And that's the way I like it. And that's how I feel heaven on earth can be, where we can be transparent, that we can have slightly different perspectives and meet in the middle and love each other. Holly K says, the more we've focused on and given energy to others, the more abundance Kurt and I have experienced. The source sending us karma. Yes. And you know what karma is? Karma is the reflection of who you are. So if you're doing a bunch of great stuff, it's all coming back to you. Every single iota, everything coming back, no stone unturned. And that's what Jesus meant when he said that. Look, this guy was telling us everything we needed to know for having the most amazing life. I don't want to associate him with an organization. He was a manifestation of what's possible for us, God. Boom. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Next, that healing is external. That's a misconception, that healing is external. I really want you to know this one, because when you give the power of healing away, what happens is that what we're saying is that we're not capable of tapping into the God source within us. Now, sometimes we need to be stimulated by our brothers and sisters to stimulate our faith in healing. And this is when Jesus said, the degree of your faith will heal you. That's my summary of what he's saying. The level of faith that you have, the degree of faith will be the degree of healing. So this is where I say, and I've said it before, you either believe or you don't. You either believe that the kingdom of God is within you or you don't. You either believe that's where God lives or you don't. So it's a matter of faith and believing what you believe. And then the results will be there. So does it mean that a doctor can't help you or a nurse can't help you or whatever? No, those are all ways to facilitate healing. But never forget that the origin of healing is within you. And the origin of healing is your belief and your faith in the potential to heal. And by the way, your nature by default is to be healthy. And usually healing requires that we let go of a lot of things. I'm not going to talk about them. A lot of things that we hang on to, whether it's things that we have carried over from past experiences, meaning past lives, or things that we just can't let go of, you know? Let me put it to you this way. If you're angry all the time, how do you think your health is going to reflect after a while? If you're happy and joyous all the time, how do you think your health will reflect over time? And that's not to say, remember, that's not to say that good people don't perish. We're all going. So why is it such a shock? It's just that sometimes we don't like the way that people leave, or we don't think that they deserve it. But how do you know where they're going? You know what I mean? Maybe there's something different that they need to experience now. Okay, next. Happiness or any emotional experience, this is a misconception. Happiness or any emotional experience comes from the outside and is not generated from within you. Let's talk about relationships here, which is also the source of a lot of discontent for some people, pain, suffering. Your relationship with someone else, especially an intimate relationship, is a direct relationship with yourself. Yes. So if there is something missing, if there's some friction, if there's something excellent, if there's something amazing or not so amazing, it's all very dynamic. That's why our relationships with each other are so enriching and sources of either pain and suffering or joy and happiness. And we start to think, that must be the source of the happiness. That person makes me happy. That person makes me this. No, it's you inside of you, and then you're pushing out this through your imagination. And that was also in my dream where he held it up. So you say it isn't so, Sylvia. No, it's not true. I didn't get myself in this situation. And I'll tell you what, it's true. You create your own reality as you move forward through the power of creation and the kingdom within. Well, why would God let me create that? You might say, God didn't do it. You did it yourself. You did it you have all of the potential within you to create what you like. And that's exactly what we do. And it reflects back to us in our relationships, in our day, in our reality, and who we are and how we are. It's a hard thing to sort of collectively gather and pull in and do. So when we do get ill, and this is a real sore point of contention, because a lot of people feel that it could be, pardon me, I just had to shift in my chair here. I don't want to victimize or act insensitive. I'm one of the most compassionate, loving people. And that's exactly why I'm sharing this with you. You have the power within you to heal. You have the power within you to communicate with God. You have the power within you to find out what's standing between you and perfect health. And that's your authority, and that's your connection with God. And when you have that communication and you have that level of faith and discussion with God that lives directly in you, He knows how many hairs you have, He knows your heart, He knows your feeling, because He lives inside of you. How is it possible that He lives in me and you, Sylvia, and everyone else? Because God isn't a small being like we think God is. God is, boom, the universe and all universes combined. And we're a part of that magnificent tapestry and intricate consciousness and being, both physical, mental, emotional, quantum physics, like all of this is us, and it's so exciting. And to imagine that somebody is sad and needing healing and depressed, it's really sad. We need to step up for ourselves and for others and really ignite the power and potential of creation that's within each one of us. You know, even if you want to take all this talk away and actually look at science, did you know the level of potential that just one of our atoms has within our body? We are magnificent. We are magnificent manifestors, co-creators with God that lives within us. I just need to remind you, I'm not telling you anything new. You know this fundamentally, but for some reason we've forgotten, or we just went somewhere. We went down some other road. Okay. So, and the last ones here, we're winding down to the last ones. God is inaccessible because you are not enough. Yeah, not true. It's just not true. God is accessible, and regardless, at any point in time, watch this, in as quick as I can, in a blink of an eye, in just a second, you can change your mind and decide to receive. That is amazing. At any point in time, you have the opportunity and the potential to shift, switch the script, flip the script, decide that you will embrace power. Almost time for me to read comments. And then finally, the last one is, thank you. Finally, the last one is your results, your life outcome, your experience outcome are based on random occurrences. Not true. So everything that you think and your real heart's desire comes true. Now, here's the caveat to that. Your life's heart's fears also manifest, and all of the spectrum of emotions and thoughts, because emotions are part of creation. Creation comes from emotion and thought and intention. Emotion, thought, and intention combine to manifest. And today, like I went to that garage sale, something very ordinary. I went to the garage sale and I saw those plates that I've been wanting. I just talked about them this morning, and there they were 15 minutes later. And then I saw a pink plate and I thought, oh man, pink cupcakes would look great on this. I went to the next garage sale that I didn't even know existed 5 blocks away, and there they were, 3 perfect pink cupcakes. I did eat half of one. I did buy the one. I actually wanted to show you guys the pink plate and everything. But what was happening was the miracle of manifestation. And manifestation happens when you're in alignment with your heart and your true self, and when you're ready to let go of self-judgment, self-inflicted pain, and believing that you are less than, you are everything and more. I mean, the universe is a reflection of you. Jesus didn't just say it to me. He's talking about all of us. So when you wrap your head around how magnificent that you are, you're going to walk around with such joy and a smile on your face, you're not even going to believe it's possible that you're that amazing and great. Yes, I said it, amazing and great. That's what you are. And the potential within you. And let me show you. If you don't believe me, name me one person that has done magnificent things in this world and transformed the world in one way or another. You might not fully agree with how they did it, but there are people on earth who have transformed all of us. They've made a decision, a conscious choice to do this. And again, everybody has an opinion, right? Now, I'm going to wind that up, and now we're going to talk. So I want to know how you're feeling about the source right within you. You don't need to have a ritual. You don't need to belong to an organization. God is accessible to you right now. You are good enough, and He is waiting. We are all waiting for each other to wake up for one another and to manifest the most beautiful experiences that we can for ourselves and for one another. And FYI, when I do something fabulous and I create something fabulous, everyone can share along with me. And the same is for you. Imagine if we focused on that rather than all of our fears that are manifesting, the global fears and this. Oh my God, the drama is exhausting, isn't it? The things, the holes that we dig for ourselves and each other. Let's just snap out of it and realize what our inheritance is and where we come from and really get with the program and start creating some amazing things and recognizing our um, our inheritance and our right to live. Now, that isn't a right to go and, oh, I'm going to tell everybody what to do. I'm going to tell everybody to believe this or whatever. If you're here and you got ears and this is sounding good, it's for you. If you're not here, it's not for you to listen to right now. This is high vibration information that didn't come from high vibration information. If you're here, it's an opportunity for you to start tapping into the Creator and creating the reality of heaven on earth. Because guess what? You're not going anyplace. There's scripture that shows you that and Jesus says, if you're looking from heaven in the sky, then the birds will get there first. If you're looking for heaven over there, then they will. Well, where is it? It's the kingdom of God within you. Uh-oh. You mean I'm not going to some magical place from some magical occurrence that happened right here, right now, you guys? No waiting. This is it. This is what's going on. And we just haven't woke up to the reality that right now we have the choice to have a great life, to love one another, to forgive, to move on, to collaborate, to all those things. That's it. That's it for that. And I do want to read something from Marianne Williamson. I'm going to tell you the truth. I haven't read her book, A Return to Love, but there's one quote I really like out of it, and I don't even really know her too much, but this is really good. Let me read it. It's very appropriate for right now. She says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that frightens us the most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God, and you may be playing small, and it doesn't serve you or the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God within us. She's saying it, guys. It's not just in some of us, it's in all of us. So let's do it. Like, what are we waiting for? It's such a waste of time to create drama. We need to start creating really amazing things. We need to start collaborating together. I mean, how many times do we have to read it? I can't even believe she's saying the exact same thing I'm talking about because it all comes from one source. We really need to find the light within us and take that responsibility and take that inheritance and make ourselves well, make ourselves happy. We don't need to suffer. We can do this. And I understand the experience of life is woven with suffering, but there comes a point in time when we can let it go. And I think that time can be right now. Yeah, so I'm going to read a few comments and sort of get over. I got a little emotional there. We're good. Oh, we need to manifest pink cupcakes, Shay says. Absolutely. I literally want to go and get the pink cupcake. It was the most beautiful pink cupcake that I've ever seen. It was everything that I imagined, that pink cupcake. And, I was just walking on. I realize it's a very trivial thing. and that we're talking about something very serious. But it's not that hard, you guys. You can literally walk through your life and manifest miracles as you walk through your life. And we can love one another, and we are a reflection of one another. And when we see something we don't like, let's just make friends with that aspect within ourselves. Okay, so we got Janine is here, and we've got Mr. Kidney is here, and we've got Bridget, Shelly, Toby, Newfie, Jim, Holly. We've got, okay, hold on a second. You guys have really been talking. Linda is here. Cheryl is here. David is here. He says, oh, let me pull this out. Wow, I'm loving this discussion today. Let me just read what he says. Wow, I'm loving this discussion today. Thank you, my family, for your contributions. And thank you, Sylvia, for your faithfulness. Love to you all. What a wonderful message, right? And then Linda says, oops, my spelling. Don't worry, you can make as many spelling errors as you want. Have you checked out my emails? If you are on my email list, you will find at least one spelling mistake, and I don't even mind, and it's perfect. It shows our uniqueness and our individuality. Janine says, Jesus came to give sight to the blind and heal the brokenhearted. Yeah, and he also came to give us encouragement and enlightenment and show us what was possible, and he said it himself. What I do, you will do and even more. Okay, and now Shay said, my guides told me that we just gave you the time out. Okay. Oh, for you, Shay, right? Okay. So I get it because you haven't been feeling very good. And by the way, let's all send Shay some healing faith and light for her respiratory system right now. Boom. We all sent it. It was easy. We thought about it, we put our heart to it, and we let it go. That's how easy it is. Holly K says, we believe we get the awareness and the knowledge of the source when we return home, and most of what matters on this plane won't matter. Interesting. So I'm going to say to you that you are home, this is the plane, and we're here. And there's no better time than right now to start. And that sometimes we fantasize that someplace else is going to be better. But let me assure you as your sister that you're going to bring yourself there. So it's best to start right here and right now, because this point and how we're behaving will predict the next point. Remember I told you God doesn't play dice? Your intentions, your thoughts, your actions reveal themselves in karma, and they propel and take you to new dimensions. Even within this lifetime, you are going from one dimension to another. Even right now, you're dying to an old self to a new self. I saw a photograph that somebody sent me that I'd never seen before of myself when I was 14 years old. And of course I have changed, but I am not that same person. No level is the same. And the same for you within this lifetime. You are growing and you are dying to your old self for your new self. And you are continually revealing yourself in this lifetime. So when should we start? Now. Where's heaven? Right here. This is the time. And what we call, or what we like to call karma, is just a manifestation of our thoughts and feelings. Boom. Cupcakes. Okay, guys? You got to start in your heart. Okay, so does anybody remember that Disney song, When You Wish Upon a Star? Do you remember that Disney song? Can anybody post the lyrics right now into the chat? I want you to look at this Disney. This message has been penetrating our consciousness since the time we were young. There have been great people, great souls out there that remind us from their hearts of what our destiny is. And whoever posts that, the lyrics to When You Wish Upon a Star first, I'm going to thank you, because I can't go there and go get that song. But I want you to post the lyrics there. And I want you to, before we go, and say goodbye. Hi, Donna. Thank you. I'm crying right now. Awesome. I'm waiting, you guys. What? You're in Hemet, California right now, Karen? I know where that is. Isn't that just west of Palm Springs? Did I get that right? Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. Shelley says, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Didn't we say that today? when you wish upon a star, as dreamers do, because it requires us to use our imagination. And, oh, where did it all go? I guess you can't post the whole thing. Is it too long? And it says, anything your heart desires will come to you. Anything your heart desires will come to you. How? How does the universe know? Because the universe is a reflection of us, and it actually starts within our hearts. Your heart is a very important organ. And speaking of which, I want to tell you something just before we go. This is a little bit of a selfish thing because I'm going to talk about myself for a moment. A couple of shows ago, I told you guys that I was having a heart situation, and I really thought about that because the heart is a very important organ. And I know that the heart is where the seed of all thoughts and emotions live. And I started to question, was there something that I can excavate and remove and free myself of? Was there judgment? Was there some thoughts that were maybe didn't need to live there anymore, that were weighing heavy on my heart? Guess what? I dug them out. I got a reward. And when I went to, pardon me, when I went to get my thing done, I'm good. So I know I'm making it sound really easy, but miracles don't have to be hard, and miracles do come true, and healing can happen and does happen. And I strongly suggest that if you guys have the time today, I would love it if you could listen to that song. I know it sounds like a babyish song, but I want you to listen to When You Wish Upon a Star, and I want you to listen to those lyrics. And there have been great souls that have been our advocates to find the kingdom within, and they meet us where we're at. Okay, I'm going to read a few comments. I'm going to be quiet. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and write them now. Everyone, it's a small world. Yes, Cheryl, my heart is light and there is a wonderful smile on my face. So grateful for this space and how conversation makes me feel here. May have to go. Purchase a cupcake. Get a pink one. Okay. Okay, you guys. I'm not going to keep you hanging because YouTube likes it when we keep them under an hour, and we're heading to that point. I want to tell you I love you. Of course I do. When you love yourself, you love others. And if we have a little friction, we're just human. We just got to dig it out, excavate it, and let it go, okay? Thank you, by the way, those of you that did the super chat. You went, you really stood in the light and you wanted to be seen and heard, and I heard you and I felt it and I appreciate it. And thank you for everybody who made a comment. And you can support the channel by simply doing a thumbs up and writing something. You could support it in any way you like, and all of it is appreciated. Have a wonderful day. Thank you, and thanks for joining us today.